Welcome to this video about World War I, also known as the Great War. This conflict, which lasted from 1914 to 1918, was one of the deadliest and most destructive conflicts in human history, involving millions of people and changing the course of world history. In this video, we will take a detailed look at the causes, events, and aftermath of World War I. Part 1. Causes of World War I. World War I was the result of a complex web of political, economic, and social factors. Some of the main causes of the war include: 1. The system of alliances. Many European nations had formed alliances with each other, which meant that if one country went to war, the others were obligated to join in. This created a tense atmosphere in Europe, where any conflict could quickly escalate into a major war. 2. Imperialism. European nations were competing for colonies and resources around the world. This led to tensions between countries and made war more likely. 3. Nationalism. Many European countries had strong feelings of national pride and identity, which often led to conflicts between nations. 4. Militarism. Many countries were building up their armies and weapons, which created a sense of competition and aggression between nations. Part 2. The events of World War I. World War I began in 1914 when the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary by a Serbian nationalist led to a series of events that ultimately led to war. The main events of the war include: 1. The Western Front. This was the main theater of war, where British, French, and Belgian forces fought against German forces in a series of trenches. The fighting was brutal and resulted in millions of casualties. 2. The Eastern Front. This was a theater of war between Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire against Russia and its allies. The fighting was also brutal and resulted in millions of casualties. 3. The Battle of Jutland. This was a naval battle between the British and German navies that took place in 1916. Although the British claimed victory, both sides suffered significant losses. 4. The entry of the United States. In 1917, the United States entered the war on the side of the Allies, bringing much-needed resources and troops to the conflict. Part 3. The aftermath of World War I. World War I had a profound impact on the world, leading to major changes in politics, society, and culture. Some of the key outcomes of the war include: 1. The Treaty of Versailles. This was the peace treaty signed in 1919 that officially ended the war. It imposed harsh penalties on Germany and helped set the stage for World War II. 2. The League of Nations. This was an international organization created after the war to promote peace and cooperation between nations. Although it ultimately failed to prevent World War II, it helped establish the idea of international cooperation. 3. The Redrawing of Borders. The war led to significant changes in the borders and political systems of many countries, including the collapse of the Ottoman Empire and the creation of new nations in Europe. 4. The human toll. World War I resulted in the deaths of millions of people, both soldiers and civilians. It also had a profound impact on those who survived, with many suffering from physical and emotional scars for the rest of their lives. Conclusion. In conclusion, World War I was a complex and devastating conflict that changed the course of world history. Its causes and events are still studied and debated by historians today, and its impact can still be felt in many parts of the world. We must remember the lessons of this war and work to promote